Hi guys, welcome back to episode 26 of Play Like a Girl. I'm your host, Gianna Cambria. Happy International Women's Day. And before I introduce today's guest, I just want to do a little shout out. I'm wearing a shirt that says Empowered Women Empower Women, which is definitely true, especially for today. If you go to the Her Team Instagram and you use code Gianna Cambria, you guys can get 30% off any shirt, sweatshirt, beanie, whatever you want, and everything goes towards such a great cause. But to get started in our podcast, I'm excited to say that we have Rhode Island local Kayla Baptista with us, and she is actually a D1 softball player for the University of North Carolina. So let's get right into it. Hi, Kayla. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm happy that you're on this podcast today.
Of course.
Okay, so as you know, it's International Women's Day, which can be defined as a day to celebrate the social, political, cultural, and economic achievements for women. Today, I'm going to be honoring and admiring the strengths that my great aunt Mata has. She recently just went into surgery. She got out of it a couple hours ago, but anybody that's out here, if you guys can just pray for a speedy recovery, I would love that. So I'm just going to admire her on this day. So my first question is, who would you like to admire today and why?
Well, there are many women in my life that have empowered me up to this point, but the three that stick out to me most have to be my mother, Kelly Rodman, and Rachel Balkovec. My mother has taught me how to balance hard work, discipline, and she's really taught me how to love others as much as she's loved me. Mm-hmm. Kelly Rodman was one of the first MLB scouts for the Yankees, and I had the opportunity to listen to her speak at a coaches conference a couple winters ago, mm-hmm. and she had just passed away of breast cancer. So she inspired my dream ultimately of becoming an MLB coach. And Rachel Balkovec is the first female hitting coach for the Yankees, and I've had the opportunity to mentorship with her. Mm-hmm. So we've had multiple Zooms and calls, and she's really helped me take steps of achieving my dream, just like her, and becoming an MLB coach.
Wow, those are like such great opportunities. What was that mentorship like? What were those Zoom calls about? What did you talk about with her?
I just told her about my life. She told me some really cool stories about her process of really like starting like way down here. Like mm-hmm. There were no women in baseball or any male sports when she first started. Just talking about the hardships that she's had, how she had to change her name to Ray on her resume because Rachel wasn't cutting it. And how things have changed. Like today, women, they want to hire women today, but when she first started, they didn't want to. So we talked a lot about that and how things have changed.
It's just great to see. Oh, sorry.
No,
it's great to see how far like women in sport have come,
mm-hmm.
which is what we're going to be discussing a little bit further into the podcast. But so moving on to my second question, which is also about International Women's Day. What does it mean to you?
So obviously it means like appreciating the women that have come before me, Kelly, Rachel, and so many others. But I just hope to be able to set an example for other young women that come after me, mm-hmm. To achieve their dreams, just like me.
No, that's great. And I bet girls are already looking up to you because they can see you playing at your school and they're like, oh my God, Dad, or oh my God, Mom, I want to be on the TV, or I want to be in the stadium where I see her play, you know? So you're already doing that. So can you share a women's empowerment message that has inspired you as a player?
Yes. So the UNC softball team actually had the opportunity this past summer to have a Zoom with Sue Enquist. She was the 11-time national championship coach at UCLA. And her main message for us as women, female athletes, was to wear the crown. We're so special. Like, she gave us like the percentages of like the women that make it to Division I softball in particular, but just sports in general. How special we are, basically. So like to wear that crown and believe in it and to have that confidence means a lot. So just being confident.
Yes, I 100% agree with that message. As for me, an empowering, well, I can't even say the word right now. I don't know why. Message that I've learned through my sport was from one of my coaches who also passed away, or one of my coaches did pass away. And she taught us she told us just do what you do, skate how you do, be yourself no matter what you do, and leave everything out there. So I think that's something that everybody should bring with them as well.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So when was there a time where you felt empowered by the support of your friends, families, teammates, or coaches in your career so far?
Well, it's very empowering. You feel empowered, of course, when you win state championships. You get awards like All-State, Gatorade. But for me, when I feel most empowered is when I'm helping others and when I'm like either my teammates or when I'm coaching, just watching them succeed and just being better. That's when I feel most empowered. Just happy.
So let's get a little bit more into your background.
Okay.
How did you initially get into softball?
So I actually started with baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'd say around like 8, I think, I started playing like Coach Pitt softball with my dad as my coach, of course. He was awesome. Yeah.
Well, that's funny that you say that because I played softball as well. When I first started playing, my dad was also my coach. I feel like that happens to a lot of girls.
Yeah.
So do you prefer playing in the infield or the outfield? Because I know that you're listed as both right now.
So I can play both. I prefer the infield over the outfield, just because it's more demanding and I like the pressure. I mean, yeah, it's more demanding. That's for sure. But I'm a very hard worker and I like the demanding aspect of it. So I'd say infield.
Yeah, I remember I was also playing infield, outfield, and I was like, put me in the infield. I like it. But my main position was a catcher. But when I was switched, I loved shortstop. That was like where my heart was. What's your favorite position?
I love second base. Yeah, it's fun.
So why is it so important for everybody or for softball players to get a feel for other positions in the game and understand how they work?
Well, game IQ is very important. So if you understand and know every position on the field, then no matter where you're playing in the game, you will know what you need to do or like the situation, anything that's going on basically. And of course, also being athletic, being able to play every position, you're going to stay athletic and you're going to have to do different things. So that's very important. And of course, like going into college, like playing wise, you don't know what they're going to need and you want to be in that lineup. So hitting's very important. But I would say just being able to play anywhere is so important for every aspect of the game.
Yes, for any sport as well. I have like such a prominent memory of when I was playing softball and my coaches just would sit us down after a practice or after a game and they'd be like, let's talk about where you went wrong. And then they would like talk about the positions where the ball should have gone. And if somebody got it wrong, it was like 15 push-ups. like run around like thousands of times. That was just one memory that sticks with me forever. So let's talk a little bit about how you were named the Gatorade Player of the Year in 2019 to 2020. So what was your initial reaction when that happened to you?
So I was actually sleeping in bed, and my dad came running through the door. He was very excited because he got an email. Gatorade, ever since I knew like what it was, I was probably in like middle school. I knew I wanted it. Like I was like, I want to get that when I'm older. So I was very excited, and I felt so blessed to have gotten it.
Yeah. Well, so when I was initially looking it up, I was seeing all these videos of these kids in high school finding out that they got it and their reactions, and I was just like, oh my god, like I can imagine Kayla like having a reaction like this.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was like, no way.
That's crazy though. So can you tell us a little bit about it? Like what did you receive? What happened?
So what Gatorade does is they actually email everybody else besides you. So like you hear it from other people. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So my dad obviously told me first. We received like a trophy in the email in the mail. A few banners, like a banner for LaSalle to hang up. I think they got a trophy too. With COVID and everything, I haven't even been back to LaSalle or inside LaSalle since. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got a banner. I got some Gatorade bottles and like a cool little video they made.
That's really cool though. Like that's such a great opportunity. So speaking of LaSalle, when I was looking up your background, you were the captain of your 2020 team. So can you tell us like which qualities would you say make a team captain? Which qualities they obtain, and why are these qualities important to live up to in your life, regardless of if you're on or off the field?
Yeah, so every leader and captain is different in their own ways. For me personally, I lead by example and through my passion of the game, just by working hard, always being like trying to be like the hardest worker. That's just always been my mentality. And then obviously like my passion, I show it every single pitch. Like if it's a strike, like I'm screaming, I'm like, let's go, like hyping up my pitcher, like just like supporting everybody in the dugout, just always like screaming and cheering for everybody, just making everyone else feel good. Just loving the game, just smiling constantly and just loving the game.
True.
And hoping that it like shines through other people.
Smiling boosts your mood no matter the situation. If you're crying, if you're sad, just smile and your day will automatically get better. But what you just said kind of reminded me of how I told you my coach passed away earlier. She did pass away from breast cancer, like that woman that you were speaking to, but she told me how you were talking about working hard. One of the things that she used to say to us was, make sure that you work hard because opportunities aren't just handed to you. They're not given to you. You have to work for them. So just like you said, work hard every step that you take, every swing of the bat, every ball that you throw, you know?
Yeah, and especially like for times like now, like never taking things for granted. I mean, definitely right now, but I've never taken anything for granted my entire life. And that's something I'd probably like advise for young players now. Just like take every moment like it's your last and really enjoying it and loving every second of it.
I agree. I speak with athletes on this podcast of all ages. I had a freshman in high school on here last week, and her first season of hockey was COVID. So she was like, I definitely took for granted, like when I was in middle school, and I was like, well, you have to, like literally what you just said, you know, you have to live everything in the moment.
Be where your feet are. That's something I think about a lot.
Yeah. So, why is it important to have a captain or someone that you can turn to besides your coach on a team?
Yeah, it's very important because there is a gap between the players and the coaches have a lot of responsibilities, and there's some things that like they just can't deal with. And so like captains are needed to be like a shoulder like that the younger players can lean on. Or I mean, not saying that you have to be an upperclassman to be a captain. Like, you definitely don't. Anyone can be a captain. Anyone can be a leader. But just having a support system other than the coaches.
Yeah, that is so important because I remember when I was playing sports, everybody, like, there's always something that a girl needs help with, or a guy if you're on a co-ed team. But usually I was on all girls teams that somebody needs help with that they're like scared to turn to the coach for. And as a captain, you just have to be there for them, and you have to be like, I'm here for you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to help you get through this no matter what. Like, you're my family, you know?
Yes.
And I think that's one of the most important things about being on a team sport, because you just have people that would help you no matter what, and then you learn from them, and you carry those experiences with you throughout your entire lifetime.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, I was going to go to commercial break, but I want to talk a little bit about the University of North Carolina now. So why did you initially want to play for them? What attracted you to the school?
The academics are obviously like amazing here. So that really attracted me, but also I love sports, like every single sport. Like baseball is probably my favorite. But just the great athletic department here in general, really attracted me. Along with the all-women coaching staff for the softball team. That's something I never had. So I thought it was really cool. And I love all of them. And Donna Papa, Coach P, our head coach, this is her 36th season here at UNC, and she's in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So learning from her and this program that she's taught for 36 years is really special. So there's a lot that goes into that. And obviously it's a strong program in the Power 5 conference. So
that's crazy though. I didn't know that your team was all female coaches.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So also my favorite sport is baseball, so I relate to you in that. But why, like, what was your favorite thing? What has been your favorite thing so far about playing for North Carolina, would you say?
I would say just playing softball every day, going out there on the field, competing with my teammates, having fun, just playing the game. It's just awesome. There's nothing else I'd want to do besides this. So I just love it.
Good. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back for more questions.
Okay.
All right. See you in a few. Hi guys, welcome back to episode 26 of Play Like a Girl with Kayla Baptista. We were just talking about her school and what she loved about it. And now I want to get into a more kind of a harder topic to talk about. So what would you say as a athlete the most challenging part of your game is?
So softball is a game of failure, just like baseball. So just mental toughness is so important. And I've really realized that here at UNC, just being okay to fail and just learning how to recover mentally from failing is something that's really important to be able to do.
That is
not just in softball, but in life.
Yeah.
too. Like, you're not going to succeed all the time, so you need to be able to recover.
Yeah. You just said the same thing that a coach told me once that was on this podcast. And she was telling me that she talks to her girls about how it's okay to fail. And you're going to take that with you throughout your life. And 100% what you said, it's not just about the game. It's about what your life offers you after the game. You know, you have to learn to fail. If you think you're always right, there's going to be something wrong with you.
Yeah. If you're always perfect, then you're never learning either, which isn't fun.
Mm-hmm. And there's no such thing as perfect. So, so obviously there are some mental hardships that come with playing this game, like you just said. So has there ever been a time in your life where you felt like you were in your head during a game or in a practice and you just felt like you couldn't get out of it?
Yes, I would say yes. I normally snap out of it pretty fast because, like, that's just kind of how I am. But when I do, like, think negatively, I usually just try to think of my past successes and, like, what I've done and, like, how I've prepared my entire life for, like, being on the field. Something that I wrote inside of my glove, not this one, this is my old glove, but, like, right here in my heel of the palm of my hand, in my UNC glove, I wrote PPW, which is prove people wrong. And, like, that kind of, like, motivates me, and it reminds me of my past success. And I'm like, okay, like, I got this. And it kind of just, like, switches my brain around from, like, the negativity.
I love that, though.
Yeah.
I never met anybody that wrote something on the inside of their glove before, actually. It's actually, because if you're having a bad day and you just look down, you're like, okay, you know, you just snap yourself. That's really good. So obviously COVID is still a thing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the hardest thing about playing the game right now with COVID?
Really, I would say there's really no hardships about this, because, like, we're getting to play the game that we love, so I would do anything to play. And I know that, like, the Ivy League and I know some other teams, like, aren't playing right now, which I'm sure they'd be, like, dying to take the precautions that we are, which is just, like, wearing masks all the time, socially distancing. Like, we have team rules, like, we can't go out to eat. We can only see our family for 14 minutes if they come to visit us, like, social distance with masks on. So yeah, those precautions are tough, but to be able to play the game, it's so worth it, in my opinion.
So you guys are one of the lucky schools, because I was talking with a softball player at URI where I go, and they can't play at all. And she was a senior, and she was telling me that she barely had spoken to the new freshmen on the team because they can't even see each other.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very tough. So my mom just commented, "I love that for your glove." And I love that PPW exclamation point. So why is it so important that you and your teammates keep each other in check during this time?
Yeah, I mean, just like always, having a good chemistry with your teammates, being there for each other all the time is important. But I guess, especially during COVID, it's affected a lot of people in many different ways. So just making sure everyone's mentally okay with everything changing, along with physically okay, because we're getting pretty beat up too, physically. It's just, of course, it's important to just make sure everything's good.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the, like, having that bond with your teammates is so important. Again, no matter whatever sport you play. So would you say that going to UNC, you had that bond initially and everybody was just so welcoming?
Yeah, all of the people that were here and the upperclassmen, they were super welcoming and friendly. They're really outgoing, which I am too. Maybe not at first, but once you get to know me, I am. So it was really easy to talk to them and get to know everybody.
Well, that's really important though, because like sometimes you hear of these stories of freshmen going into a school and they're just like intimidated, but as long as you have like these upperclassmen that are holding you under their wing and that are treating you like family, you're fine.
Yeah.
So going back to International Women's Day, there's a hashtag going around called Choose to Challenge. And it's basically like calling out the status quo and gender bias and equality. So that's why they're challenging those things. So what would you say are your thoughts on that?
So of course, like challenging like all of like the stereotypes and stuff that goes along with that. I think it's great. I really like that hashtag that's going around. I honestly haven't been on social media at all today, so I'm kind of just hearing about this. But yeah, anything that has to do with getting rid of stereotypes and all of that stuff is great, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, I think the reason why I just wanted to ask you this question is because I feel like as a woman in sport, just using your voice is so empowering. Oh my God, I cannot talk today. Like no matter what, I feel like, I don't know. In one of my classes, we're currently talking about how people are scared of women who use their voice as a power tool. So I think this hashtag just really shows that and emphasizes it. And I think that's why it's so important.
Yes, I agree. Using your voice is very important. So yeah.
So what would you say? Well, actually, all right. So I think what would you say so far your favorite memory with your teammates has been in the short time that you've spent at school or with your coaches?
My favorite memory? I'd say when my teammate Taylor Green hit a walk-off. I think it was a couple weekends ago. That was so much fun. We all went crazy. So yeah, we just really all felt like together in a team. Like it was just really good.
No, that's the best. Whenever girls in my team hit home runs, we just ran out to the plate and we're smacking each other's helmets when they came home. It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
So my last question to you is, obviously, the name of this podcast is called Play Like a Girl. Why do you think it's so important to play like a girl? What do you think it means?
So I think playing like a girl is a compliment. It means being proud and confident that you are strong and athletic. And it means to take like all that you have inside of you and putting it towards whatever you're passionate about. And just going all for it.
Yes. 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Passion is what like gets people through life. So as long as you remain passionate, no matter what it's about anything, literally the slightest thing. Stay passionate about it and keep that with you because that's going to keep you going throughout life.
Yes.
But it was so great talking to you.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So that was Kayla. I loved speaking with her. She was a great guest to have for International Women's Day. Really quick, right before I leave, I just want to say again, this shirt, Empowered Women Empower Women, is from a website called Her Team. And if you go there, you can get anything you want with 30% off using code Gianna Cambria. And all their money goes to helping women in need and women empowerment committees. So if you check them out, that would be amazing. And as always, this is the podcast called Play Like a Girl for the girls. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.